Good day, viewers. Welcome to the Mentor of the Month interview for the month of March. Before we kickstart that, I want to congratulate all the members of Bahrain chapter of ICI for being selected as the best overseas chapter in category 2 by the ICAI. Just like the Mentor of the Month interview is a dedication to all the past chairpersons who have made BCICI what it is today, this award is also a dedication of their hard work and to all the members of BCICI. And because this is truly a team effort, I would say combined effort from all. To start, I would like to invite our past chairperson all the way from Canada, CA Kapoor, to make an introduction for this month's Mentor of the Month.
Hello to all my friends in Bahrain. My name is Vivek Kapoor and I'm here to talk about a charismatic and a beautiful gentleman. Beautiful at heart. He is a great public speaker, assertive, efficient, a tough taskmaster, a great and astute leader, a certified and effective coach, a speaker par excellence and an avid Toastmasters, and winner of several public speaking contests, a fountain of optimism and positivity, courageous, a loving husband and a father, a guiding light, a great planner, a towering leader, and above all, a human being admired and respected by all in the society, younger and elder. By now, you probably must have guessed the person whom I'm talking about. I am honored to introduce. Hold on. I would like to keep you all guessing till I narrate a small story. I still remember sometime during the spring of 2014, I received a call from this gentleman and he asked me whether I would be keen to join his team at the Bahrain chapter of ICI and contribute to the profession. I was delighted at this call and instantly agreed to be a part of the committee. I was very lucky to be a part of his team, and my real training happened during this year to equip me with the skills and abilities and prepare me to lead the chapter in the future. Out of the many valuable lessons I learned from him, some noteworthy of mentioning are the ability of being humble and assertive at the same time. Without holding you back any longer, I present to you the Mentor of the Month, CA Meenakshi Sundaram.
Thank you, Vivek, for that introduction. Now, let me present to you the man from whom I have also learned a lot of leadership qualities, and as Vivek was mentioning, how to be humble at the same time being assertive. Welcome, Meenakshi, sir.
Thank you, Ajay, and again, congratulations to the chapter for you and also Mahesh for your tremendous effort in getting the best chapter award for our chapter.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
Before I do the normal questions, I have first seen you 14 years ago, and you were looking exactly the same as you are doing now. So, what is the secret of this? What is the Santur moment? What is the Santur secret?
I think it was when my son was born and he was small actually, and Shubhashri that time was taking a break, and we were trying to drop him in a daycare so that she can then plan for getting back to the work. So we went to the daycare and we were, it's actually a Bahraini thing, and that lady there, she looked at my wife Shubhashri and said, so which college you are studying? And that was like, I was worried that maybe she will say that I have married a school-going minor and it should not happen that way. So that's a starting point for keeping my, looks.
So, can you please give us a quick rewind of your personal journey so far?
I'm actually from Madurai, which is famous for Madurai Meenakshi Temple.
That explains your name.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And I'll give you a bit more background on that. My parents, my father, Mr. Arigar, and my mother, Sita Lakshmi. My father, before I was born, was having his own business. He was running a restaurant, and what I heard from my mother is he used to have a Jeep and Bullet and those kind of things. And one wrong decision and everything was gone. And they moved to Madurai with almost nothing in their hand, except my elder brother was there already at that time, and I was not even born. With the help of my father's uncle, my father took up the profession of Purohit, basically Pujari. And he became a devotee of Meenakshi.
Right.
And he believed whatever he was able to get back in life is because of Meenakshi. So that's how my name also came. So my father is actually again an entrepreneur turned Purohit, again turned into an entrepreneur come Purohit. And since
Right.
he started wedding management business kind of, so when I was in college, that was part-time for me. Most of the leadership qualities I have imbibed, I have learned from my father. So when I was growing up, I should say, we were the house was very, very small. In fact, the size of this hall, half of this hall is the size of our house actually. But one thing that my parents ensured is that we never felt scarcity.
Right.
Because we had a very contented life, that's a different thing altogether. But never ever we felt that there is something scarce in our home. So the kind of abundance mindset was always there. Because anyone comes to our home asking for any help, my father was willing to help. There was food always available, even at that kind of a situation. To anyone who walks into our house, it's always made available to them. So I never felt there was something lacking in our home. So growing up, that was a situation there actually. And maybe a lot of good deeds from them that helped me to grow into a person. And my elder brother is again inspiration for me because he's the brilliant among the two. So that pushed me to study hard. And maybe the school I was in, I would have probably got misguided. But because I had good friends, again, I'll say blessings, who is still, who are still with me. There's one person, particular person, if I name, N.D. Raman. He came into my life when I was in 8th standard, and he kind of, held my hand and walked me through my studies. He was the one who pushed me to study hard. He was the one who encouraged me to focus on studies. And he decided to do CA. Okay. So I became a CA. While doing CA, I can say from that time onwards, there are a lot of, few more people who were there in my life. Right? We were 5 people together. Raman, Hari, there was another Sundar, and then Babu. So that's my life, in Madurai till I finished CA. I did CA with Mr. Sridharan, who again is an inspiration for me because he was a visionary. He was having practice, he was having his own business. He identified the service tax. Right. When the service tax was being introduced, he decided to shift his practice to service tax. And he was a pioneer in terms of service tax practice in my hometown. And then his partner was Madhusudanan, who again kind of helped me to shape my thought process, right. Working style and all those things. And I'm I should say, lucky to get a break, work with ITC. ITC was, then I moved to Hyderabad. I was working in Madurai for a short time, about a year and a half. Then I moved to Hyderabad and I worked with ITC, Bhadrachalam and Pepper Woods. It's a great place to work. And I have learned so much from there. It really defines so many things. I started with internal audit. I was in intern for 3 years and then moved to factory accounts. I worked there for another 2.5 years. Then I moved. And ITC also gave me the biggest contribution of ITC is, I met my wife. Okay. There. We were working together there. And our parents agreed. We got married. So, Shubhashri is another person who has helped me to shape my life. She's been a tremendous motivator for me. She's the one who allowed me to join Toastmasters. In sense, she encouraged me to go and join Toastmasters, even chapter activities. And when the question came, she said, yes, you should take it up. And then even John Maxwell, she's the one who identified and said, why can't you, do something like that? Now that you're interested in speaking, go and try this. So she has actually shaped me as a person in a different way. Besides, of course, a lot of sacrifice that she has to do. So we have been married now for 20 years. We have a wonderful son, Aditya. He's 15 years old. He's in 10th standard now. My hope is that he picks up some good qualities from each of us. He's already picked up good qualities from Shubhashri. He's fantastic in art and he's a very studious student. So these are the qualities that he has picked up from Shubhashri. And from my side, I can see he has picked up humor. And I hope as he grows, he becomes a well-rounded man, a kind-hearted and a good man. That's my wish for him. That's about me so far. Then, if I have to say, another biggest thing is the company that I work for here. In 15 years now, I'm working for Xerox. So my general manager, John Joseph, is a tremendous personality, very human. tremendous human actually, very supportive, great leader. So, and then managing director also, Mr. Nabil is also down to earth, humble personality. So, I've been with this company for 15 years and I'm really enjoying.
Thank you, Meenakshi sir, for that detailed description of your life journey. But as auditors, we always do a cross-check. So for your cross-check, we have a very nice person, your better half and the past secretary of BCICI, CA Subhashri. I invite her to the studio. So welcome, Subhashri.
Thank you, CA Ajay Kumar, for having me here.
So Meenakshi was describing his life journey a little bit. So I just want to ask a few questions to you to cross-check whether whatever he's saying is correct. So, but first, before that, I just want to know, can you describe what, in your opinion, is his biggest strength?
For Sundar, I think the biggest strength that he has is he's very passionate about anything that he does. Be it Toastmasters, be it John Maxwell's work that he does, or even the BCICI activities that he was involved in over the years. The passion that he brings to the table is tremendous. I think that's his biggest strength.
Excellent. Now, is there a habit of Meenakshi that you would like to change and which he has not changed?
I just wish that he was a little more organized. So I think it's most of the men maybe, but I just wish
that
he was
is
a
what I was
little more
thinking.
organized.
Okay. But I think he is more organized than me anyway. So, but you can do better, Meenakshi sir. And maybe, I don't know, are there some funny incidents about him that you can recollect and share with our viewers?
I think Sundar and humor just goes along so well. There are so many instances. I never personally did not think much about his name when many people thought it was a woman's name. So most of the time when I used to get a call and they said, can I speak to Mrs. Meenakshi Sundaram? For me, it was always like they wanted to speak to me or to my husband. So that was the very first humor that got me into in touch with Sundar basically. And there are lots of other instances where one of the times when we were in India, he was traveling, he was supposed to travel to ITC Calcutta at that time. And he was very excited. He came back home, he had his ticket ready in his hand and the flight was the next day. And I just said, let me have a look at the ticket, show it to me. And it was printed Mrs. Meenakshi Sundaram. And we actually had to go back the day night to the travel desk to get it changed. Otherwise we thought that, and the guy there was like, how do I know it is not Mrs. Meenakshi Sundaram? So we had to show her the ID and all and tell him, you know, we had to change. So, and these are some of the instances which just comes up in my mind now.
Great. And before we let you go, I don't know if there is any other, something that you want to share about Meenakshi as a person, as a father, or as a chartered accountant. The floor is yours. It's open.
I think Sundar is a very amiable person and he gets along well with people, which I think is a biggest strength for a leader.
Exactly.
And getting along well with people helps him in getting a lot of work done from others and in a very nice manner. And that puts people at ease also. I think that's his biggest
So I couldn't agree more because we are already having a discussion about his leadership quality and I think you are bang on that same thing. So thank you so much, Subhashri. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about Meenakshi. So probably we will let you go. So we will continue with him, with his memories with the further show. Thank you so much, Subhashri.
Thank you, CA, for having me. Thank you.
You have heard Subhashri's reactions. So your comments about that?
It's really funny actually when you look back. But she brings a lot of discipline in my life.
Thank you, Meenakshi. And I know you are a all-rounder in the true sense of the word. I know you used to play cricket. You have an artistic side and everything, and you have a lot of extracurricular activities that you are interested in. But I know one of the things that is very close to your heart is the Toastmasters journey. So can you give us some insight about your Toastmasters journey?
It started actually in 2007. It was Murali, our past chairperson. He's also again one of the person who has been like a mentor for me in the beginning when I came to Bahrain. He is the one who asked me to join Toastmasters, and I joined Toastmasters, and he's been very supportive for me, and we used to share, discuss, help each other. But there's one more person who meant a lot to me as a Toastmaster. Whatever I gained in Toastmasters, this person has contributed much more actually. He's my colleague also. He's DTM Guras from Kadia, a well-known personality in Bahrain, a great speaker. And I asked him to be my mentor. I had a mentor from the club also, but he is from different club, Manama Toastmasters. But he agreed to be a mentor, and he has given me so much. He's shaped me in multiple ways, and I really thank him for his contribution to my growth in Toastmasters.
Thank you. You mentioned about DTM Guras, so I think we have a small message from DTM Guras. So I think probably we should hear from him.
Meenakshi Sundaram joined our company, Business International, in 2006 as the Group Finance Manager. And from the day he joined, we both have had this amazing rapport with each other that grew into a strong bond we call friendship. Soon after joining us, he joined the ICAB Toastmasters Club, and Toastmasters became a common ground of interest between us. He did a smart thing. He actually appointed me the unofficial mentor for Toastmastering for him, which means I was available for him to guide him in Toastmasters at least 5 days a week in the office. What I've observed is Sundar takes every single aspect of Toastmastering very, very seriously. And I've seen him grow over the years in his communication and leadership skills as a Toastmaster. Today, he is not only a DTM, which is the highest recognition available from Toastmasters International, a distinguished Toastmaster, but he has also developed himself in other aspects of communication and leadership, such as John Maxwell Institute and Tony Robbins, etc. Today, we both enjoy a mentor-mentee-mentor relationship, which means sometimes I'm mentoring him and sometimes he's mentoring me. And that's a really proud moment for a mentor to be able to get guidance from his own mentee. Well, with his kind of potential, I'm sure Meenakshi Sundaram will grow to much greater heights in future. And I wish him all the best. Good luck to him.
So your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's actually funny in a way that yes, we are now mentoring each other. That's how we evolve actually, and he has contributed a lot for that movement.
One of your unique accomplishments is that you are a John Maxwell team certified trainer. So what is that all about? Can you let our viewers know what this is all about?
Well, this goes back to 2015-16 actually, after I finished my term as the chairperson, and I was thinking of doing something, and my wife Shobhashi suggested that why can't you take up this, and I inquired, and I had a few of my friends doing it in Saudi Arabia and all. And I said, let me try this out. So it's basically John Maxwell is a prolific author. He has got about 100 books, yes, and he's a very, especially in leadership, very humble personality, and a lot of insights in leadership that he gives from his books. He decided to form a team where he was taking people and getting them certified to teach from his books.
Okay.
He gives the course material, everything is given to us. We are trained based on that, and then we go and train people using those materials. That's the whole idea of this. So I joined John Maxwell team in 2016. I got certified in 2017. I went to the International Maxwell Conference. They do it twice every year in Florida. So I went for that in 2017. I got certified myself. And 2018 February, I got an opportunity to speak there in the conference.
Oh, okay.
There are about almost now, I think it's maybe more than 20,000 coaches, but that time it was around 10,000 coaches, and people can submit their videos, and then there will be a lot of selection. Before that, a lot of training happens to you. So it's a 6 months process, and I started that. And 2018 February, I got selected for that. I was there among the top 10 speakers to speak in front of almost 3,000 John Maxwell
Wow.
coaches. So that was one of the.
That's a massive achievement, I would say.
That's something which I really thank the John Maxwell team coaches, especially there's Roddy Galbraith, who's my speaking coach. I thank him very much for his support in learning this. So that's about the John Maxwell team.
So thank you, Meenakshi, for that explanation. Now let's move to the BCICI portion. So can you take us through the initial days of BCICI that you were part of and your term as the chairperson of BCICI?
Well, I think, I started the journey with Mani sir. He was the first chairperson who asked me to join his team, and it was a great experience for me. And then I was with Balu's term. I was not there in Balu's term and Alok's term together, because that time I was focusing on the Toastmasters. But I was there in the team, helping them. I was doing the souvenir, both the terms. And the Shopper's term, I was there. So it's like every term afterwards that I was part of every team in some way or other, actually. Then 2014-15, I became the chairperson of Bahrain chapter. It's a great team that I had, actually. I should say, whatever I achieved at that time, it's a team that has really supported me. It's a culmination of the effort of the team. If I have to mention few things from my term, I should say, in the international conference, we decided that we would try to do something like Abu Dhabi chapter used to do. They used to have a kind of a gala night.
Okay.
The first day conference, the night there will be a musical event. We had a musical event in Sanjay Gupta's term, but that was a separate event. So we thought we will do along with the international conference. So Shankar Mahadevan is what we decided to invite for that. So even before I could approach the sponsors, the first thing we did is to break the FD to pay advance for Shankar Mahadevan. And then there was a concern because there was a regional conference that has happened in May. So there is a kind of worry that whether we will be able to garner enough support for the international conference. But I was very confident. I was confident because the chapter is so big and we will definitely be able to get. And we got actually for the adequate money for the entire term. So it was a great event. And it was, in fact, it was raining actually on the event. The first day of the conference, it was raining heavily. And the evening was
the show.
Show. And people are worried. They were coming and asking me, Meenakshi, is there event is going to be there, or will we get a refund? I said, no, rain is going to stop and we are going to have the event. And 1:30 in the afternoon, rain stopped. Everything was okay, and we had the event in the day. And in fact, Shankar Mahadevan came and to our event the second day. We closed the event with Shankar Mahadevan. He came and there was one small song, snippet of a song he performed for us. So it was a great memory. We also had IIM leadership school dean. Now presently is the dean of the leadership school. So Shailesh Gandhi. He came and we had a joint event with CMA chapter. So he spoke to our chapter. That was one of the highlights which I can think of. Then of course Patna Vibhushan now, Mr. Narayanamurthy. He came to our chapter, and that was definitely one of the highlights. That I'm really thankful to him for accepting and coming to our chapter. And we had our past chairperson, founder chairperson of our chapter, CA Krishnamurthy. We approached him because the moment we decided to have Krishnamurthy, we thought of, instead of having him as a speech, instead we thought we'll do it as a Q&A kind of thing, okay. So that it would be interesting for the members. So the best person they can put forward, and we decided to go with Mr. Krishnamurthy. And I still remember, he prepared so much for this. He read the book of Mr. Narayanamurthy, and he prepared so many questions. And he asked me and Kapil to come to his house, and he ran through the entire questions. He asked us if there is anything that we can add. And that humility of him, I'll say, took me by... That's something which when you see a person and when someone does like that, the respect really multiplies. I think he's a great personality. He has done so much for our chapter. That was one thing. He handled the entire event so nicely and in a very professional manner.
I mean, you mentioned about that particularly. That was definitely a highlight of the term, I would say, and even I remember it very vividly, that particular event. But you mentioned the way our legendary founder chairman managed that event. So we have a small video from our CA Krishnamurthy, Krish as we call him. So he has given a small video from all the way from Canada again. So let's play that.
Hello from Canada. My interview with Narayan Murthy way back in 2015 was quite a Herculean task as far as the preparations went. Because here was a man with that kind of an image, standing and personality. And we had to encapsulate all facets of his personality into 1 hour of questions. So we decided to use humor as the medium through which the questions would be asked. And we approached Narayan Murthy and asked him if he would cooperate. And he said, gladly I will. And so my first question to him was actually a compliment, which he turned into a joke. And that brought the house down. And after that, the interview was quite easy and very fluid and relaxed. But before all this, I had a long chat with Meenakshi. And he, with his typical affable personality and his such a wonderful people's person attitude, he sat with me and we had a long chat, and he gave me a lot of pointers, and we discussed a lot of stuff. And the product was excellent. But a word about Meenakshi. Now, Meenakshi is such a wonderful person. He is so nice with people, very sensitive, but there is a lot of intelligence behind that. And he gets what he wants, but in a very nice way, and he takes people along with him. Therefore, I have a feeling that he is going to have a fantastic career in motivational speaking, which I think he has already started on. I wish you the very best, Meenakshi.
So that was nice hearing from Krish. You also mentioned about the special event from Shankar Mahadevan that we had. So I think from that term we have a small clip also from that. So maybe you can watch that as well.
In fact, when Shankar Mahadevan came, actually I was outside. Because I was waiting for him to, get him into the hall. My phone was switched off because battery was out, and he came through another
entrance
door. And fortunately, Ugandar was there. He took him inside. And I'll say it was lucky for me that I came back to the hall. And I found him on stage already.
So you were attributing a lot of your success to the fantastic team you had. In fact, I think your team had like 4 past chairpersons of BCICI plus the next chairperson of BCICI as well. So I thought should have a quick catch-up call with them and see, remember some of the memories from that term. So let's call them up now.
Oh, sure.
Hi everybody, welcome. Welcome to the team of 2014-15. Today, as you know, we are having the Mentor of the Month interview with CA Meenakshi. So we just wanted to have a small reunion of the team. So over to you, Meenakshi.
Thanks, Ajay. It's a great pleasure. This is a fantastic team. I'll say a team that one can dream to get actually. It's a combination of knowledge, expertise, youth, execution. I should say that I'm actually blessed to have such a great team. I would probably start with Santosh. He was the last person to join the team. Santosh is someone, I would say, in terms of execution, he is one of the best in executing a strategy or anything you give to him. He will ensure that any job that is given to him is done end to end. You don't have to even worry about anything. It's done completely, full control. It's amazing to work with Santosh. Santosh, I would probably ask you to share some special memories that you have from our team.
Very much, Meenakshi. I'm very lucky and fortunate to be part of your team. I was very new to Bahrain. I was just come to Bahrain in 2013 mid, and 14 mid. I am in the executive committee of BCICI. It is amazing, and I think two people were instrumental in making me to that. One is then Uday Shanbak and yourself. I probably met a few times only you by that time. But I think maybe one reason, I am just guessing why you spotted me. I think ICAI voice was very close to your heart. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was the editor of the magazine immediately after I am joining the Toastmasters. Therefore, you had some kind of interaction with me. Then you spotted me. I am sure first 1 week of you are deciding to take me into committee, you may be regretting, because the kind of 1,000 question I asked, especially one area where I was the nominated member, I got confused. What is this nominated member? I was shooting all wrong questions. I'm sure some of you might have got upset of that, but sure, it was a very fun and excellent working with you. And the Meenakshi I know from Toastmaster and the Meenakshi I see as a chairperson was totally a different one. And I used to see, and Meenakshi would like to occupy the stage and do things from the front when he was a Toastmaster. But when I went to the executive committee, I used to see a Meenakshi who is taking little backseat and allowing his team members to do the maximum, always giving the seat and also the mic to speak and supporting the team from the behind the stages and giving all the credit and the visibility to the members. I greatly appreciate you. All my journey from that year to subsequent year, a lot I bowed to you, and you helped me, and rest of the leaders also helped me to formulate and see the kind of inspiration you give in that committee, gave the confidence for me to continue in the committee and work for the profession as well as the BCICI. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, Santosh. That's I should say I'm proud actually with your comments. The next person I will talk to is Clifford.
Is our treasurer for the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Clifford actually is someone who is, and never say no, man. You call him any time, you give him any amount of work, he would never ever say no. A silent person, always there to work, fully committed, both in Toastmasters and also in chapter. I have seen a person of such commitment. Clifford, I would request you to share some good memories from our term.
Thank you, Meenakshi ji. It was a very grateful thing that you took me in the committee. It was like an icebreaker for me for the XCOM to join. And really, even I also didn't expect it that I will be there in the committee. But you chose me, it was a great opportunity to be with you. And what I saw, when you gave the work to me, I was totally doing it, that you didn't interfere also in our work, because you know that your team is going to do it. And I remember that most of the time, like in the registration desk, I was there, because that was the first time I came into the XCOM. So I was bit hesitating to take part in other roles also. So, and it is because of your humble nature and very helping hand, to tell, whatever work you did it, you gave it to us, and we did it very nicely. And it was a great opportunity during that time. And I think that was the first year, the musical event was conducted in Isa town. That it was also very fantastic. Even though it was raining, that we were praying that the rain should be stopped so that we can enjoy that event. And thank God that everything went on well. It was all the blessings of God, upon you and upon all our total committee members who are committed to do the things, and we did it. Thank you very much. And to be with you, like always, like anything we want, that you are always there to help us. Thank you very much, CA Meenakshi.
Thanks, Clifford. Next we have Kushbu. Kushbu, I should say, I started working with Kushbu. She was there in the ICAB. She was handling the ICAB voice, and we have noticed that she's a very good speaker. She is very committed to anything that she takes up. And then I worked with her in the Sanjay's term. She was again handling the souvenir there, and so much she has done. And I've seen Kushbu as, if I had to define Kushbu, I will say she is like a smiling warrior. Any issue, she's there in the front to tackle it, but you will never see her getting frustrated, flustered. Never ever. Any amount of work, any kind of pressure, she's smiling and getting the work done. She is an amazing asset to the chapter. I'm sure she can contribute a lot to the chapter as we go forward. Kushbu, floor is yours.
Thank you for your humble words there, Meenakshi. I would say when it came to, describing you as a person, I was thinking a lot, and to get the right words, to express how great you've been. So the only thing I could think of were the three words that, that you always describe your day as, which is great, fantastic, and fabulous. So you've been a great leader, a fantastic chairperson, and a fabulous mentor. It's been wonderful working with you. And, as you rightly said, that I've known you from my ICAP voice days. And even before that, I would say, since the day I stepped into BCICI, you've been there to guide and mentor me, which I'm very, very, very thankful for. The memories from our term, if I would say, one was, of course, we began the YCAB, which is the women's group to, meet and take up seminars, especially for the women who are working and couldn't come to seminars in the evenings, which we generally conducted. So that was, of course, with the initiators being CA Shubhashri and CA Shri Bharti, to join them and to begin this and to have your and the entire ExCom support for that. That was really amazing. And the second being, I would say, for the first time, we conducted the budget event, which was entirely handled by the women members. That is, from the reception desk to the stage to behind the stage, everything with the, of course, support of all the ExCom members. That was something that, took place for the first time during Meenakshi's term, thanks to him being open to the idea for it. At that time, I remember a small thing about how calm and composed Meenakshi is, that I approached him and told him the MC for the event is still not here. And it was 7 already, and we were just to start the program. And he said, what's the worry? You're going to take it up and you go ahead with it. And I was like surprised with the confidence that he had in me. And even now, like when I get stuck somewhere, I just remember those words and go like, it's for you to take over control and, move ahead. So thank you, Meenakshi, for the mentor that you've been and you still are. Thank you for still guiding me throughout my personal or professional matters. Thank you so much.
So, I think thank you, Kushbu, for mentioning about the start of YCAP that was done, because it is very pertinent in this month, because Meenakshi is the mentor for the month of March, and the entire show for the month of March for BCICI is going to be handled by YCAP. So I think that is the transformation that we are going to see in this month. So very, very kind of you to bring us that very important topic. So thank you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Kushbu, for the kind words. Yes, I mean, she's been fantastic in all the work that she has done. Next, we have Mahesh, Joint Treasurer.
Yes.
I think that was the first time Mahesh also came into the ExCom. Mahesh is someone who is, I'd say, a pragmatic thinker. Any issues in hand, he will be thinking from different angle, and he will express himself. He will not worry about. He will put his views forward very clearly, eloquently. And something that I really like about Mahesh is, his way of thinking. He looks at an issue from every possible angle, and that's a great value addition that Mahesh brings to any team. Mahesh.
Thanks, Meenakshi. I mean, you have a penchant for putting your bets on, the underdogs. So it was this May 2014. I was just giving a call to Meenakshi, inquiring about, the general affairs of BCICI, and I popped to him this question: Meenakshi, do you have any vacancy in your lineup? In a fraction of a second, his response was, if it's for Mahesh Kumar, then there is one spot vacant. And that's when, the journey for me as a formal member of the executive committee of BCICI started in the year 2014-15 under the stewardship of Meenakshi. And since then, of course, it has been, a great learning experience. Needless to say, like all my other colleagues who mentioned, that working with Meenakshi has always been a great learning experience. And, I was given some important tasks as a part of the executive committee. And one thing I remember was being part of the stage management activities for the annual international conference. Now, believe me, until that point in time, I don't remember having climbed on a stage and addressed an audience of 300, 350 people, till that point in time. But then, the confidence that I got after doing that, I mean, it still, continued with me. And of course, that made me do a lot of other stuff. So, I really thank Meenakshi for, discovering some hidden, talent within me, which, but for not the opportunity you had given, I think it would have been still latent within me. And maybe, I would not have been, even, been around for so many years within BCICI. So thanks, Meenakshi, for, showing us the way, guiding us, and, taking interest in the development of each and every member of your team. God bless you, Meenakshi.
Thanks, Mahesh. You've been a great value addition, and I'm sure you've done so much for the chapter also. You've taken chapter to a completely different height with your efforts. It's all, I mean, I have, when I look back and say what I have done in my term and what you guys are doing in your term, it's nothing to compare. When you guys are doing so much great. Anyway, let me come back to my team. The next person is Vivek. Vivek is a dynamic personality. A real go-getter. You give something to him, he will smash it. Great networker. Relationship management is something, is a great strength of Vivek. And he's a terrific learner. He picks up something that you just have to give a line, and he will learn it thoroughly. He will know everything in that particular line in a matter of time. He was a great addition to my team, and in fact, I mentioned that in my AGM also, that he was like my, if it's an army, he was the army general. Vivek?
Thank you for that kind words, Meenakshi. And I really still very clearly remember the spring of 2014 when you called me. And I don't know for what reason you called me and asked me to be a part of the team. And I immediately said yes, because I understood that was my opportunity to learn from a great leader like you and hone my skills. And I'm really thankful to you for keeping me in the loop for all your activities. And, that was my on-the-job training, to be honest. And I picked up a lot of skills. And I have said that earlier, that what I learned from you, very important skill, I still practice it, is being humble and assertive at the same time. So I still remember when in the committee meetings, you used to very clearly say, we have to get this done. And we were always humble and very polite in communicating that. And the team always got the message that there is a deadline and we have to finish that. And those contributions from working with you have really taken me a long way in developing my overall skills. And from the memories of our term together, I can remember that in the international conference, we were trying to look for some gifts for international conference. And I remember scouting for some suppliers in India to get a personalized or customized gift which I wanted, and I got a few samples, and then we had the meeting in our committee, and you approved one of the samples, and then we were able to get that customized gift, and it was liked by the members a lot. So I think overall it was a really great experience working with you. I really cherish those memories, and thank you for your mentorship and guidance all the time. And you're always an inspiration, because even after you achieved pinnacle at Toastmasters, at the BCICI, you are still going on. You're a John Maxwell certified trainer, and I have been exploring that opportunity, and I'm supposed to reach out to you to go that route. So thank you so much for your contribution in my life, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thanks, Vivek. We have the next person, which is I'll say, a consciousness keeper. Any issue that where you need a clarity, you're struggling to find clarity, one phone call to Kapil, you get the answer, and you know exactly what you should do, where you go, which direction you should take. So Kapil is someone I know Kapil from when I joined Toastmasters. He was already there in Toastmasters that time, and we know each other from that time onwards. We had worked in the ICAP as President and Vice President Education, and then again the chapter I was Chairperson, and I was lucky and blessed to have Kapil as Vice Chairperson. Kapilji?
See, my memories with Meenakshi, if you look at, are the daily talks that we had. Every day during his tenure, we were talking 15 to 20 times. I never talk on telephone more than 2 hours a month. But with him, I was discussing almost each and everything every day, 10 to 15 times. That was the level of communication that we had. And with Meenakshi, as our friend Vivek has already said, his humility and humble attitude are the key that nobody can say no to him. One funny incident that I remember is about those telephone calls only. One day so happened that he called me in the morning. I was not available. I called him. He was not available. He called, I called, he called, I called, he called, I called. It was around 10 times we tried each other on the landline. And at the end, when we got connected, he said, I have forgotten why I called you. I said, I transmitted this disease to you because I am a forgetful person. Being a poet, I should dedicate 4 lines to you too, Meenakshi. कितना ही अंधेरा हो तेरे दिल में है चिराग, तू सबके रास्तों में उजाले किए रखना। आगोश में आता है समंदर तेरे सूरज, आगोश में आता है समंदर तेरे सूरज, अब सुबह तक तू इसको संभाले हुए रखना. Means this gentleman is master in controlling his emotions and doing the right thing, and always guiding others, howsoever busy he is. You ask anything from him, he is available with his time, with his guidance, with his mind, with his attention. And he takes care of each and everything. He took good care of all of us. And I know for sure everybody of us benefited. And I was able to do my duties as a chairperson because I learned a lot from Meenakshi on leadership. That's what I can say. Thank you, Meenakshi.
Thank you, Kapil. I'm definitely blessed actually to have got such a wonderful team, and we really enjoy.
Some of the team members could not join today, so I don't know if you want to say a few words about them.
Yes. So I was to start with Amit Shah. Amit Shah, as the name goes, is a tough negotiator. As Amit Shah is, he's a tough negotiator, and his contribution to the chapter has been tremendous actually. There is no doubt about it. Amit Shah is another ex-com member who is very enterprising actually, great communicator, and a person who's filled with so much positivity. He's like a positive magnet. You go near him, you can feel positivity. He's also done so much for the chapter, excellent worker. Uday Shanbag, he was the chairperson, so I mean, they after me. Uday, I would say, is like a sponge, that soaks the soap. So if the situation is so much turbulent, he will never show off the emotion outside. He takes everything inside, and if I had to say, he's like a smiling assassin in a positive way. The work is done, and you will never even know that it's being done. He's like, he was just here, but he's got the work done. That's actually Uday.
Good evening, friends, and Meenakshi Sundaram in particular. I know Meenakshi for a couple of years now. For me, he is a great friend, very simple, very humble, and down-to-earth person. He was my mentor while I was in the speech craft. Later on, he was my mentor while I was in the Toastmasters also. While I was chairman of the BCICI, I used to call him quite regularly for his guidance and advice. I remember one incident with Meenakshi. During 2015 international conference, we organized a musical concert of Shankar Mahadevan. It was in the open ground of Indian school. Around 10 or 11 o'clock, it rained very heavily in Bahrain. It was for a short time, but it was quite heavy. I casually asked Meenakshi what is his plan, like whether cancelling the event or shifting to a new venue. Meenakshi said, Uday, it is really very difficult to shift to a new venue at short notice. Let's hope for the best. Still, there is time. Things will be all right. God is great. That was the confidence which I could see in Meenakshi. Interestingly, in the evening, everything went very well. The concert was well attended, well received, and very well enjoyed by each and every member and their families. Hats off to you, Meenakshi, for that confidence. I wish all the best, and once again I thank Mr. Ajay for giving me this opportunity.
Uganda is again another person who is very silent actually, but he's got a tremendous network. So to understand Uganda, you have to actually communicate with him. You have to go deep. He's like a gold buried deep inside. A person made of heart of gold actually. Very nice gentleman, and I also know him personally. So it's been great having him also in the team. So it's overall it's a great team. So that I think makes the entire team.
Yes, so that
I covered all of my team. They're all gems.
So that was a very nice catch up with the team. Now, if we were to log into the future and 5 years down the line, where do we see CA Meenakshi Sundaram?
Yeah, I'm actually working towards being a trainer.
Right.
Some people say that motivational speaker. But yes, that's the direction which I am working towards, and hopefully I think you will probably see me more on stages, delivering speeches.
Now, it was a fantastic interaction that we have had, but many of the people, as we discussed, they consider you as their mentor, including me. But I think that is also the perfect opportunity for me to ask you a few words of wisdom for many of the young members and young team members in the XCOM and upcoming members.
Well, one thing that I learned, in ITC, and when I went for the election program, the marketing manager, he asked me one question, and he said, "You went for your induction in the factory, and that factory is Asia's, I think, second largest factory for paper manufacturing, and the top, the technology was that time. It was the top technology in the entire Asia." So he asked, "How many questions you asked?" And I was taken aback. And I said, "Maybe 4 or 5 questions." Then he said, "Okay, how many questions do you have to ask me?" And I said, "I have put 3 questions." He said, "Okay, now go. Come to me in the afternoon. Come with 15 questions." So I have to really, break my head, and I got 15 questions actually. I went to him. Then he said, if you are a child, when you look at a new place, how many questions will come to your mind? That's how curious you should be in every aspect in your life. You see something, you want to learn it, you have to ask questions. So if at all I have to give an advice to anyone, this is the advice I want to give. Be curious. Try to learn everything possible. In anything that you see and you want to learn something. So one of the things that I am trying to do is, for example, I am trying to write. When I try to write, I have to learn. I have to read a lot. So I get more knowledge about it. So be curious. This is what I want to say.
So thank you. That was a fantastic message. I think one of the best messages we have received, and we expect nothing less from young Meenakshi Sundaram. Be curious. That is the message from him to all the young children. Not only young, I think it applies to everybody. So with that, we are coming to the close of the interview. So thank you so much, CA Meenakshi Sundaram, for joining us as the Mentor of the Month. And we wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors.
Thanks, Ajay, for the opportunities. In fact, I just want to compliment all the chairpersons in the last few years. The amount of work you are doing, it's tremendous actually. If this is the amount of work a chairperson has to do, I don't know whether I would have taken up the chairperson position that time. But you guys are doing amazing work. Keep up the good work. All the best to you and your team.
Thank you so much. So with that, I think we will close the Mentor of the Month interview for the month of March. So viewers, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did interviewing CA Meenakshi Sundaram. So with that, I would sign off from the BCICI Virtual Studio. Thank you.